Coming at you live tonight from the hollers of Kentucky. Split radio sucker. Who are the redneck hicks who can't get chicks to watch their shit? DEADPIT! Damn right. And who is the man that would risk his neck for some...
Howdy, folks, and welcome back. Creepy Kentuckian here.
I'm Uncle Bill. Hi.
Hi, Uncle Bill. We have very special guest on here today. We're going to talk some trick or treats with the rad man himself, Garrett from Born to Be Rad. Welcome, sir.
Thanks for having me, man. Not the rag man, but the rad man. Right.
Yeah, rad man.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's
But yeah, I am
said.
here.
I'm from Eastern Kentucky. You can't understand half what I say anyway.
But, I figured what we were talking about today, Ragman would have made a lot more sense, but Radman's cool too. It works. We're going to be talking about the brand new 4K release from Red Shirt Pictures for Trick or Treat. And I know all three of us are big fans of this movie and have been really excited about this release, and we finally have it.
Yeah, it's a release 47 years in the making that finally goes.
It seems like it's been that long.
100%.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah, it's going to be soon Thanksgiving, believe it or not. So, but it's pretty crazy to be talking about this right now because, like we said, this was announced, I think, April 23rd, 2023. We get the official announcement that Synapse and Red Shirt were working together to put out Trick or Treat, which is one of those horror movies of the 80s that's been so sought after for so long among fans, and especially with the physical media, because it had this bad boy. This is what we were all used to. This sun damaged dollar store.
I still think that he made a mistake not making an alternate sleep.
He could have done that, man. Yeah, there's something about that that's very nostalgic.
Yeah.
For real. Somebody actually, and I posted that on my Instagram, is that someone actually made a mock-up of it on the new case. And they sent it to me and they said, did you see the variant on Diabolic, slipcover D? And I'm like, no. I'm like, where is it? I'm like, on Diabolic looking for it. He's like, no, I just made that. I'm like, you made this? And I was like, part of me was gonna buy it.
Let me tell you something, man. Had they done that and limited it to 666 copies, that would have sold out as well.
Yeah, definitely.
They would have done that as a store exclusive or something, but
they really should have, man. And to be honest, there still is time, right? Like that could be a way to kind of sneak out this nice thick box edition again to the people who maybe haven't gotten it, and just make it completely different, like a store exclusive, Synapse exclusive variant cover. And like you said, I think that they would sell it for 600 copies for sure.
What's funny too is that the same people that bought these would buy them too, though. They'd be the people that would just get it over again with the new variant cover. Nobody knew would be able to get it. It would all be like all the people that got the same shit.
Let me tell you something right now. I would totally buy another one of those for that shitty artwork. Like that would, to me, that's just I don't know. That's a time capsule right there.
It's so shitty that it transcends shittiness to like a point of being like good.
Like it's so bad it's good, like in the same concept, right? I totally agree. It just talk about such nostalgia with this release, and that's all we knew for so long, until we started seeing the OG poster art. I know like Germany came out with a hard box edition, which the quality wasn't that great, but I mean at least it had some cool artwork and stuff on there, and it had that Ragman title or whatever. So, but yeah, this edition has just been on a long journey, guys, and I'm sure you remember when he announced that in April of 2023, and his promise was you'll have it by October, and a lot of people did, but it wasn't October 2023. little off,
It didn't work out like he thought it would, but I think at the end of the day, looking at it now, that it paid off for him. He is in Tahiti or some other foreign land on a beach somewhere.
He's definitely wearing a safari button-down shirt for sure, like one of those Hawaiian shirts. Right. Definitely.
One of the things, though, that we said, and this definitely came true, was like it really didn't matter. Like if you put it out at Halloween, if you put it out like after Halloween, it really didn't matter because it was going to get bought no matter what, and it definitely did. Like it wouldn't have mattered when he put that out. Like the fact that it's out and people have been waiting for it for that long, I think it actually helped him though. Like there was so much controversy around it, like that it actually helped sell it.
Mm-hmm. And to be honest, talking to some people, and I know you guys are close to Slippy, and talking to people that have been working on this and helping with this for the last year and a half, he probably could have put it out in October, right? But it wouldn't have been the edition that we got. And I think that's really what started to slow this process down is, number one, it was his first real big release. So I don't know if he knew how much goes into that than what he's used to doing. And obviously with having Synapse there was a huge help for him. But talking to people that were kind of in the know, they said, listen, like it could have probably came out a lot earlier and that's what people wanted. But, fishing for all these interviews and special features and stuff, like he reached out to everybody he could find that had to do with this movie. And what ended up happening was he did a lot of interviews and stuff like that, ready to release this release to come out. Then all of a sudden he's getting emails like 2 months before release date saying, hey, I want to do something now. And in his head, he's like, I'll never be satisfied if I put out a half-assed release. So let me get in everything I can and then just put it out when everything's done. And that's really what it was. So at the end of the day, this stocked full of shit release is not what we would have gotten if he would have got us this last year.
Well, I think that he realizes now, because this was, like you said, this is his very first big release. So with release number 2, which is coming up here probably early next year, hopefully, but he's not going to say that. Okay. Whenever it's available or it's ready, I think is when it's, and that's what Synapse normally does with their releases. They don't hype it up. It's just there. Here you go. Order it. Right. So I think that's one big thing that Felcher is going to do with these releases from now on. You're not going to have any, hopefully he's learned his lesson with the announcements, because he was, to be honest with you, he was starting to piss me off, Uncle Bill, with these announcements.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. Announcement. But of course, we'll talk about that in this video here.
And that was the thing. Every time we would do a stream, and not just us three, even other people that were really big fans of this movie and stuff, once the news was out and once October came and went, that every stream, one of us got a comment about that, a ball bust or something. And you had to address it, or we chose to address it. And I always kind of took the stand of like, like UB said, at the end of the day, it didn't matter. And that was always the stand I took, is it's like, I wanted, of course, but I knew that I was fine with waiting, because I knew at the end of the day, the product would be better later than it would be sooner. And especially because I was in a conversation about the Ozzy interview, and I knew that was something that was supposed to be worked on. I happened to just be in the same circle of the conversation that was being had about this. And so I knew for a long time that was one of the reasons that was really holding this up, is that they really were trying to get Ozzy on this thing. And not I was in the conversation like I was part of the communication or anything. I was just in a room where the conversation was being had and the deals were being had, kind of thing. And I knew that was one of the issues. And not only that, but like I said before, there was a lot of people that kind of came to him later down the road and said, hey, I just got your email a year ago and I'd be happy to be part of this documentary. And he was like, okay, let's do it. And he just had to wait to get everything he wanted in, because he said if he would have put this out and it wasn't completely full and someone would have emailed him after it was already done, he probably would have regretted it and like been like, oh, it could have been a little bit better if I was to met with this person. The Ozzy thing didn't work out. He tried. But in May, a little over a year after announcement, is when we first got the images for the 3 covers, which I think was a real cool idea that they did. And there's not a lot of companies that are doing that. Maybe there's store exclusives and stuff, but to say, hey, there's 3 versions of this, variants, that was a really cool idea. And I don't want to say I hope more people follow along with that, but
I don't hope more people follow.
I think it was
really
a really unique idea for this release to make it feel a little bit special, because from a buyer standpoint, how many people bought multiple versions just for a different artwork?
Well, a lot.
Well, there was 150 bundles that they did that sold out just like that, and they weren't offering a discount. I don't think it was a discount on those at all.
No.
Like,
it was exactly the same price.
Yeah.
You just bought 3 of them. Like, there was no discount. But the interesting thing to me about that was I hadn't really seen that before, though. Like, where not even from like Vinegar Syndrome or Severin or some company you would expect to have thought of that or seen that, like where they just have variant covers of the same movie, like three different covers like
Yeah,
that. Because that
Arrow
really
does it. Arrow does it, but they
yeah,
do
Arrow
like
does it, but they do
their
like
site
site
exclusive.
exclusive. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, but this was just like across the board. So it's kind of genius because like he had to know, or one of them, two of them had to know, or both of them, that it taps into that collector side of people that's just like they just want the whole thing. They want every variant of anything that comes out, no matter what. And like they knew on some degree or another that was going to be a huge selling point, was to get all of those like a set almost. And that's the same fucking movie, it's just different cover. But like, yeah, I mean, it's kind of an ingenious idea.
Agree. And I think a lot of people that bought all three are looking at it like this is the collection, right? Even though it's exactly the same, but to them, this is sold out. And as we know, this is sold out forever. So to say I've got the complete collection that's no longer available to a lot of collectors, I think that's I would say rewarding to them, I guess, to say they've got the whole, A, B, and C. This is all we got. And it wasn't the A, B, and C that we got now originally. There was tricky because when they announced it in May of 2024, they said, hey, we're going to have 3 different artworks. Here they are. You get to choose one. And they put out a little release on that. And slipcover A was I'll showcase here. This is the one that I ended up picking up with slipcover A. Slipcover B,
none of us got
either of us got.
B.
That was
was slipcover B, but slipcover C was actually a different slipcover C and slipcase or whatever they want to say. And everybody was putting in, I want one, I want A, I want B, I want C. That was kind of the talk of the town at the time. And then a couple months later, they switched out slipcover C now to a new design, which is the design that seemed like most people wanted, was the new slipcover C, which was like that red. And that's the ones you guys grabbed, right? Yeah, that seemed like that was the hot seller. And to me, I think it's a great release. My only issue with that one was I'm like, when I think of Trick or Treat, I think of black and orange. And the fact that it was red, I was kind of like, But it seems like that was the hottest seller out of all 3 of them.
Yeah, I mean, I like them all in a way. Now, slipcover B, they altered a little bit from their initial announcement. I don't know if you noticed that.
I didn't.
They also had the original logo of the Trick or Treat on that one, and then
so the font changed on B.
Yeah, the font changed on B right when we didn't see it until it went live on the Synapse site. So I don't know why they chose to do that. I think that's one of the big reasons a lot of people kind of skipped out on B, because that was the one that lasted the longest. I think that one took the longest to sell out.
Right, longest being about 10 days, but still, that was the one that was still left, and A and C had been sold out like the first 48 hours, right? So, a lot of people are like, oh my god, I blinked and everything was gone. I can't believe I missed this. This is bullshit. And I'm like, well, it was available 10 days. And I'm not saying that's a long time, but as a collector and people who are in this game, most should know you're going to jump on something. The 10-day window isn't that short, in something like this. And you could see they were putting stuff out 200 left, 100 left, right? So you would think that a lot of people would jump on that, seeing, okay, the ticker's coming down, unless they just thought in their head, they'll restock.
That's the most confusing. That's the most confusing part of all this to me, is that people are going on about how, you can't get them anymore and how you have to go on eBay. But it's like, dude, they were up for a considerable amount of time, and they would for collectors anyway, and they would tell you how many they had left. So I feel like anybody that was serious about this release should have been able to get it, at least one of them, because it was on there for a while, and they kept reminding you it was on there, and they kept sending you it was going down in stock. I don't understand all these people that what the hell they were waiting on.
What's the problem now is they're all online, couple hundred a piece now.
Yep. It's like scalper.
It is pretty crazy. The bundles are selling for people online are selling the bundle for $666 for the bundle. I don't know if they've sold, but I've seen them on there. And then each release is being sold for $200. It's funny because slipcover B, again, it's the same movie. That's selling for 100. But slipcover C is selling for 300. And slipcover A selling for 200. So it's strange how the artwork is determining the price range on the exact same thing.
I think that's where we're at now. I think that's the world that we're in now.
So
I did want to mention though too, prior to these releases, the little DVD that you had showcased there was from more or less like a budget. I mean, and that's being kind. Platinum DVD Corporation.
It's awful too. I've got that same one, and the picture quality,
dude. Well, that was a budget release. Walmart 588 bin 25 years ago, pretty much.
Yeah.
And that was it. That was the only physical media release in the United States that we had seen. So
I'm assuming that's a straight VHS rip, right?
I think so. Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
So this was, and make no mistake about it, people may not realize, some of the younger listeners and viewers out there, this was a huge get for Felcher. Like, as far as there's only a handful of these movies that had never received any sort of special attention on home video, Trick or Treat was right at the top, I would say.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's too many that's above it. So, however that came together, and maybe we'll get to talk to him about that in the future, he struck gold getting the rights to this. Nobody else could do it, man. Think of all the other companies out there that would have done backflips and cartwheels. Scream Factory, Arrow Video, Second Sight Films, they would have done it for sure. Vinegar Syndrome, none of them could do it. But Little Red Shirt Home Video, Michael Felcher, got it done for his initial debut release for his label.
Do you think that because again, you're thinking about that, and you're also thinking about there's a couple of the movies out there, we've talked about Fright Night 2 and stuff like that are in the same boat of like these holy grail of like releases that people have wanted. Now, do you think someone like Slippy has been, and I hate using this word, but like he's almost like a consultant for a lot of these labels when it comes to the features, and he's hired by these companies to be like, hey, we want you to try to get us some footage or features or whatever we can do, interviews or whatever. He's the one that's digging through the mud to get all this shit for these companies. So now that it's his company, do you think he's like, I know how to do all this stuff? Like, I was doing all the dirty work for these companies to get these people to talk to me, or to find this footage, or to find these, missing scenes and all this stuff. So he kind of knows the ins and outs of like how to get some of this done, where maybe a lot of these companies that hired him don't have that same, way to like maneuver in and out of, either rights or finding out where the rights are or what to do after you find them. Like, I don't know. Or maybe they've got so much going on. They're like, we hit a roadblock out. Let's just go to the next thing.
I think honestly, like being Slippy in this case of being like a video, kind of like a picture kind of thing now, is a blessing and a curse, because on the one hand, he knows, you're right, he knows all this stuff, right? He knows how to get on this. But on the other hand, he almost cares too much, to the point where that's what almost screwed this whole thing up for him, I think, is because like he wanted the perfect ultimate everything edition, because that's what he did. Like he wanted like all the extras to be immaculate, and it almost like fucked the whole thing up, really, because like he was so, just anal about it. Anal. But you know what I mean? Like he cared like almost too much, to where if he'd have just been like, fuck it, like, it might have been out like a lot earlier. Not to say that it mattered, but like he could not just say fuck it, I don't think.
I think he's a perfectionist.
Yeah, maybe like way too much on that end of it. Yeah. Like, number one, this is his first release and under this like banner. So, I mean, I give him some leeway with that, because like you want your first release to be like epic. So, and this definitely was, but like the other part of me is like, I think he almost wanted to be like the anti Scream Factory, where, like they put out like those little 5-10 minute segments, like maybe 3 or 4 things on a disc or something. They don't even do that now, but they used to. But like, he's got all of this like full feature length documentaries and all this different stuff on there, to the point where I feel like that he just almost took it too far. Like if he would have just pulled back a little bit,
I appreciate that. But again, it has to do with, like you said, is he going to be a company doing one release a year, or is he not? And if he is that sustainable, or is it not? I mean, I think once he kind of gets a flow, maybe things will change. Having a team behind him, everybody kind of doing their part, bringing everything together. I'm hoping for the best, but I mean, and that's another thing. People had issues with the price, and I don't have an issue with this price at all, because you got to remember, we're in a world now where $40 is the norm. $40, give or take, is like average for a movie now. His was $66, okay? But you got to look at this. He did everything that's on here is brand freaking new. There's nothing here that he ported. So, as far as I know, nothing of this was ported from anything. So, I mean, he basically, all this stuff that you see under these features was stuff that he had to do from scratch. So, with that being said, I'm sure maybe people had to be paid along the way. Maybe, X, Y, and Z to get this transfer done. And you got to give him, props on doing that and not having anything to port over and give us this much goodies on this thing. So $66 to me for this release was not expensive at all.
The limited edition aspect of it, I think, is how it got away with the 66 or whatever it was. So you got what, 2,222 of each style. Mm-hmm. And you know how people are. FOMO mania is running wild all over the place in the physical media world. And I think I was one of the early ones that predicted, like, this is not going to last very long. Like, that's not that many copies. And for something like this that had never been out before, especially in the 4K, tons of extra features, the soundtrack is on there, documentaries. You got a nice hard box.
Rigid.
Rigid hard box, yeah.
Yeah.
A cat couldn't claw on this thing. It's so damn hard.
Yeah.
I just knew that it would sell out rather quickly. And it did, like on Orbit, or it was up on Orbit and Diabolic DVD that sold out, the first day?
Yeah, easily.
Yeah, it was
within the first hours.
Couple of hours, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But the weird thing is, if you look at like a site like Vinegar Syndrome, right? Anything that they put up usually that's like 2,000 copies, it always sells out like pretty quickly too. Even like the partner label stuff. So yeah, this was like a huge release that was limited. Like each cover was limited, like roughly 2,000. So it's going to sell out. Like there's no way that it's not, because that's how the market is now and everything too. Mm-hmm. But I was surprised that cover B lasted as long as it did, if I'm being honest. But
now, do you guys know the ins and outs of the cover switch? Because I don't want to get people start any shit, but
no, I know rumors about it, but I don't know.
Yeah, I posted the first image that they gave us with cover A, B, and C. I made that a post on my Instagram. And what's interesting is one of the artists, so I tagged all the artists in it, and then one of the artists commented underneath, and it said, "Oh, I didn't know I was doing this alongside this other guy." I think they thought they had the exclusive cover, and then come to find out they're one of three. Mm-hmm. And then the guy on my thing made a point to kind of say, "I wasn't aware of so and so being part of this," or something. And then all of a sudden you hear a couple weeks later, "Oh, we swapped out one." And I'm like, was there like an artist beef or something like that? And then, people started saying, "Oh, I heard maybe the guy he had gotten caught for plagiarizing or something." I don't know the full story. I don't remember what the artist's name was that was on the first one, but I didn't know if you guys had any other insight on that, because that is another weird situation where, like, if artists are beefing about specific releases and stuff, basically it only made this release a little bit, just another obstacle that they had to deal with, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these artists don't like each other, so I don't know if it's something. I don't know what the detail is as far as that goes, but yeah, I mean, I think the original artist for C, there was some kind of issue there, but yeah, I don't think that he ever announced officially exactly what that is.
The only thing I remember Slippy saying about that too, and it was funny the way that he put it, and I still remember it because it was so funny. He was like, "Yeah, and there were some issues with the artwork, but that's not even worth talking about." So we just move on. So I about guarantee that it probably had something to do with something like that.
Some egos probably got got feelings hurt or something or another. Who knows?
But I mean, yeah, we don't know for sure. that's rumor and innuendo, but like, I mean, I almost partially feel like that's a kind of shot yourself in the foot on that, didn't you? Like whoever the first guy was, like, I mean, it's probably going to end up being the most popular release of the year, and it's fucking just like, no.
Yeah, it's definitely in the top. I would definitely put it in at least the top 2 or 3 of the entire year, for sure.
Yeah, but
God bless you though for having morals, I guess.
Definitely the most hyped. Because we were thinking
it was a year and a half hyped, yeah.
And we were thinking it was next year, possibly. Like from what I'd heard, like
that's kind of where we go next in this story. Like all these obstacles and trying to get these last minute interviews and pushing the date back, and then it became the whole beginning of this year is where is this thing? We were promised this, that, this, and then he put out a press release. Maybe it was even on your show. I don't remember where exactly it was, but remember he said he basically was just like, I'm gonna have it. I'll have it by Christmas, by Halloween.
Yeah.
Where did he say that? Was that on your show?
He said that wasn't our show, was it? That was on his show.
I think that he laid out a guarantee on our show.
I don't remember. One of the two shows. It was either his or ours.
That it will be out before Halloween. I can tell you that it definitely will be out before Halloween.
It better be.
It's going to be. It is absolutely, swear to God, barring any unforeseen. And don't threaten me, bitch! It will be out before Halloween. The exact street date will be announced very soon. But you can take it to the bank. This is coming out before Halloween. And I'm not saying it's going to even necessarily come out October 31st. It may come out before that. But this is coming out. I will stake my reputation on that. Believe me.
I want to save this part. We talked with him for a couple of hours in July, and at that point in time, it was like, hey, I've got all this turned in. It's ready to rock and roll. Everybody will have it by Thanksgiving. Well, by Thanksgiving would have been accurate. By Halloween. And some people did get it by Halloween.
They did.
I will say, though, at the end of the day, as much as all of a sudden we're rolling into October, no one's heard a damn thing. And, I'm at a convention and I see people, they're asking me about it, what's going on. And, so then I'm talking to other people about it, and then it's like, yeah, there's still a chance that, it's going to be here by Halloween. I'm like, chance? That's like 2 weeks. It's not even up for pre-order yet. And then all of a sudden, we get kind of like a heads up, like, hey, it's going to be, he's going to announce something about this release. And, we didn't know exactly what he was going to announce, when we first heard about it. And then, he ended up coming on the show and basically explaining what was going to happen and blah, blah, blah. In his own slippy way, I guess he explained it, that tomorrow something's going to happen on his channel and all this other stuff.
Well, I had two thoughts though, man, like when all this was going on. And I brought one of them up on a couple of different shows that we did. It might've been the Friday Night Live shows, but like my thought was one of two things like that could possibly happen. One was that they both were trolling everybody, which would have been like an epic level, like, fucking, Montreal screw job planned out kind of thing, right? To where they were just like telling everybody this misinformation and like they were actually going to have it out. But the more probable thing was the second one, which I kept saying, which was if anybody could save him and get this out in that amount of time, it would be Don May. So if anybody could like take what they had and rush that through with everybody that he knows and everything and get it out to kind of save him from, having egg on his face, it would have been him. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much exactly what happened, I think.
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate.
The craziest part of all this is like we kind of knew, that this was going to be announced on that day. Like we kind of knew, that. But what we didn't know is that we didn't know the plan was we're going to announce this to drop and we're going to ship it that day. Like that. No, I didn't know. I don't think you guys knew. I thought this was like a pre-order and we'll get it by the end of the year. But what a turnaround. I've never seen anything like it. Like they skipped the pre-order and just to buy it now. Like,
yep.
Why couldn't they have just, maybe 6 weeks earlier put in, or a month early, put in a pre-order just to get everybody excited and then ship it out by Halloween where it's like, now it's like, it was so rushed. It was insane.
That's what leads me to think that he probably Don May just probably got that done through somebody as quick as he could. They didn't probably know they were even going to have it done until a couple of weeks before.
Like that Monday. He's like, I'll have them all
a
wrapped
couple
up.
extra
like,
bucks. Pay the replicator some extra bucks to stay up, extra hours.
You know what's funny though is that through all that shit and all that, the stuff that was talked about that release and everything, technically he still made it before Halloween. A lot of people got that thing on Halloween.
Not me.
Not me.
But I mean,
again, we also didn't order it from Synapse, and that was another obstacle or bump in the road. Is that like we talked to Slippy that night before, and he kind of came on the show and teased it, which I appreciate him doing it on the show to tease that because it got everybody excited. And we even said, "Are you sure?" He's like, "Get it on Synapse." Like all we heard was synapse.com. Get it on Synapse. And we said to him, "Are you sure you're going to be able to? It's going to that server is going to house what's about to happen." And like, oh, of course, yeah, because we've been part of Bad Gateway for before, right?
Yeah.
Severance. I mean, they had to literally like restructure their whole site for these kind of sales. Synapse has never had this kind of traffic coming to a site for that, and we knew this might not go well. And sure enough, noon hits, everybody's on the site, boom, crashes right away.
Well, we're
freaking out on the live streams, like, oh, their site's not working.
Yeah, and then of course we're all getting DMs galore about it. Like we know how to fix this thing, because I wanted it just as much as you. And then all of a sudden I get a tip. Don't know what the hell's going on. Go to Orbit or Diabolic. They should be announcing it any second. Boom! I went right to Orbit. All of a sudden, something flashed on the screen for Trick or Treat. I was like, all right, gotta get it. Because I didn't know what was going on in the Synapse route. I didn't know if it was crashing. I didn't know if there was so many people buying it. Because I've been part of situations like Mondo posters where you try to get on there to get a poster. That thing's gone in like 10 seconds and you're shit out of luck. I didn't know what was happening here. So I just grabbed it as soon as I saw where it was available. And, then Synapse came back and Orbit and Diabolic sold out. Synapse came back. Their stock was all there. People were buying them throughout the day. And the people that ordered from Synapse are the ones who got it first. And, it's kind of funny how that's the site that crashes. But at the end of the day, those are the ones that ended up getting their copies first. And for us who ordered it right away from like Orbit, we got us a little bit later. Because I think Synapse had to ship Orbit and Diabolic their copies. Then they had to ship them to the people that bought it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, like, that's what I was thinking would happen. But at the same time, you don't know how fast these things are selling, so you don't want to miss out.
Exactly.
And that's why I ended up, because I think I had ordered it early, just a little afternoon on Orbit's site, and then it was later on that evening. They were still having issues on the Synapse site, but I could get on the Synapse site. I was one of the very few that could get on there. I was talking to Mel about it and ordered one for her because she couldn't get on there. The site didn't work for her. And then she ended up getting like her copy like a week before I did.
Same, yeah. That's so funny, right? Because I think what happened was I said, just get on Orbit. She's like, well, no, I want a specific cover. Their Orbit sold out. So that's why she had to go back and try to get it through Synapse, because at that point, Diabolic and Orbit were sold out of all the covers. So you had to try to get on there to get it. And like you said, the people who got it from Synapse got it first. And, we unfortunately got it last. But, all said and done, say what you want. It looks like an amazing edition. I just got mine today, so I haven't even opened this yet. So I figured we could do a little unboxing and kind of give ourselves a first look. I've watched no reviews on this, so I don't even know exactly what all this looks like in here. If there's alternate art, I don't really know. So I'm kind of curious to dive in here on this thing.
Sure, yeah, it'd be a good time to do it. And I haven't really watched any reviews either. Like you were saying, we're kind of a little closer to this release than a lot of others. So, I almost feel like even though we weren't really a part of it, but we were kind of a part of it, right? So
I felt like a little bit of like we could have been a little bit of a street team for this release, I think, because, obviously, like you said, Slippy's been on your channel a bunch of times, and they know you're close to Don May. They know you're close to Slippy. So, of course, a lot of the information was coming, like you said, on shows that you did. So you were kind of part of the process when it came to the announcements and whatnot. So
I think and this is why I think the next release or whatever release he puts out is going to do well. I honestly believe at this point that Slippy is kind of like a cult figure in like physical media. Now, I'm not saying that we're completely responsible for that, but we've got a big fucking part in that. Like honestly, in terms of like hyping his shit up and like having him come on over the years and all that shit too. He's made his own shit. He's made his own way. I'm not saying that, but I am saying that like at this point, I think anything that he puts out will sell based on who he is and his reputation. Like people know he's been doing like these special features and all this stuff for years and years and years. He's like one of the first guys at Anchor Bay, one of the first guys that, to help with Synapse. So all these different things that he's been a part of. I think that whatever the next release is that he comes out with will sell out. Maybe not as quickly, but it'll sell out. I think anything he does from now on.
Are the other ones going to be limited though?
Now, here's another question.
I think they will be.
What would you guys do? Like, let's say he says in his head, my goal is to do 2 to 3 a year. Okay.
I think that's fairly accurate. Yeah.
Would you keep this as like your standard release? Like, would this be what Red Shirt Pictures is, considering like, Arrow, you always know what the Arrows are going to look like would you do this, or would you mix and match and all of a sudden put out like a smaller edition? Or we just say, you know what, like I'm going to try to just replicate this with every title that I have. I personally think they should, but I don't know what you guys think.
Well, the only problem with that is if you're going to keep that price point, the $50, $60, that's going to be tough on. I mean, there's not too many movies that I think people would pay that for. If he could figure out a way to do the style box and maybe not make it $40 instead of $60.
I think you could, because you got to look at Arrow. They're able to do it. I think what it is like, maybe the next edition doesn't have a CD. Maybe the next edition's special features are half of what we're getting here. So like maybe there is cost cutting that can be done, but like maybe to be able to keep maybe this kind of style box. So when everything's on the shelf from Red Shirt, it all kind of looks the same. I don't know what his plan is. I didn't know if you guys had talked to him about that, but yeah, I'm just curious of what his mindset is on these things, because, Synapse is sometimes they have slip covers, sometimes they don't, sometimes they're a steel book, sometimes they're a thick box. I mean, they're kind of all over the map based on the title of how they're going to design their product. Where a lot of companies like Arrow, you pretty much know what you're getting. Vinegar Syndrome's the same way. Every certain lines are a certain style. Screen Factory is just the basic. Kino's the basic. So I didn't know if there was, there was any kind of mindset that he might have where he wants to try to keep everything aesthetically pleasing.
He's never really mentioned what he's going to do for the next release, but like there's no way that the next release can be $60.
No.
I know that, but like, could it look like this? I'm trying to envision that.
Well, we know what
maybe.
We do know what the second release is. We can't.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
that's the tough part. Like, it can't be $60.
I don't think you could have a booklet like that. I just don't think people would give that much of a shit. Like to where it has.
Could he do a scaled down, a scaled down version of this? Same sort of box.
Yeah, I think he
maybe like a standard Vinegar Syndrome type, like one of those
that's
ones like with the little numbers on the top where it's like
the VSA
split box, but it's like a tad thinner than this. But
that's what I think he should do probably with that next one. Yeah.
Or you take their route and you say, you know what, maybe this isn't a Trick or Treat level title, but if I pretty this thing up and hype this thing up, I can make it one.
That's the Severin approach. That could work. Sometimes it works.
Well, Severin and Vinegar Syndrome both have made a lot of money doing that.
It's a ballsy move, but the worst thing, easiest thing to do is maybe limit it down. 500, they'll sell.
I mean, there's a few titles that I think that he could pull this style off with, but all of them, I think it would be tough. I think it would be a tough sell.
Knowing what the next title is, if he put out 3,000 of them, I think it would sell out easily.
And then did the standard release after that.
Yeah, I think that like if he did something like a VSA, put out 3,000 of them, I think it would easily sell out, probably within 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. And it's not I'll put it this way: it's nowhere near like a title like people know like this, but it is
sought
amongst
after title.
collectors, and it is. So I think it would definitely.
And again,
never been released either. I guess we could say.
No,
that.
not since VHS.
Yep.
So I mean, it's one of those things where you shine something up real nice, and you can make chicken salad out of chicken shit very easily in this game, and we've seen it, right? So for something that hasn't been available in 30 years, 40 years, could probably easily sell quicker than people might think.
I think he's in a great position for it to sell out. I really do.
But anyway, look at this artwork here, man. I mean, this is. I got to say, the matte finish on this thing is really, really nice.
Look at it.
Look at you, baby. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at Sammy. Very nice.
Cool. Very cool.
What's the back look like without that little piece on it?
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh.
Hit Parader, boys. I did get away with that. That was a real magazine.
That was.
Yeah. I used to love those in like the 90s.
Yeah. So,
What was the other one? Metal Edge?
Metal Edge, yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting, because there's separate artwork on the back to Songs in the Key of Death.
That's sick.
I'm really looking forward to watching this movie again, though, because it has been a long time since I've actually seen it.
Now, I grabbed cover A.
Let's open.
And I will say, yeah, that's the one we're going to talk about. So I will say, I really liked this cover here. I liked this artwork. I know it's a little more basic. It's a little bit less busy. I liked it, just the black and orange. It's clean. You know, I know a lot of people weren't the biggest fan of maybe the logo, because it's not the normal Trick or Treat logo. But I will say this: your back
I'll
is way better.
solo you. There you go.
Your back is way better than this. This is just a pumpkin.
Yeah, I like that one a lot too. Now is that Justin Osborne that did that?
Yeah, and this was actually a shirt that he did for Fright Rags first, because I bought it, and then when I saw this was on when this was on there, I was like, oh, that's a great look at it. That's a great art piece. So, yeah, it's sharp, but I think your back is better with that image and stuff like that on there. But like we said, we don't have cover B. I don't know what the back looks like on that.
I should
that was Devin Whitehead.
Just to say we don't have one of them. Like,
we should have just got it, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, as far as the innards, though, I don't think there's any differences in those. Right?
No,
the book.
Let's check those innards.
What the fuck?
Look at UB down there. He's afraid to open his shit
he's like,
which one's going to go on eBay.
One of them's going to go on eBay. I just got to figure out which one.
Now,
like,
I will say this: Second Sight's books smell way better.
Oh,
smell?
Here you go, huffing the fucking books.
The books, they're similar, but the Second Sight ones smell better. I think.
What is your? Oh yeah, you get okay. So it is the same. So we get that one.
I need a knife or something.
Sweet.
I just use my thumb.
This is a cool book, though. They've got all the different artworks. They got some stills. This is nice.
Yeah, it looks like they've got some of the newspaper articles.
There we go, baby. Oh, I found the old cover in here. Look.
Let me ask you.
Hell yeah.
Do you think that like this should be the way that Fright Night 2 comes out?
Yes.
I do too.
100%. 100%.
I think this should be exactly the way it comes out, as a matter of fact. The same kind of.
Do you know what I would do? And this is a weird.
Comes out.
I know nobody would do this because the companies aren't going to do this, but I would almost love Fright Night 2 to come out like this, and then the box be a little bit bigger, so you could like slide your other Fright Night 1 in there and have like a box killer.
You know, like yeah.
But no, I mean, you know what'd be sick though? Imagine this with that Fright Night 2 all white. With the eye, like the Fright Night 2 logo, the box would be all white. That'd be pretty sick.
So
you got the poster?
This is like like a pull-out poster from one of those magazines, like a hit parade.
That's the one in the movie that he has on the wall. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it's got his autograph at the bottom there.
So there's this one too.
Right, like the one-sheet art.
Yep.
Very nice. Definitely frameable.
Oh, this is definitely framed. This might go in my gym. Jesus now, is this going to have reversible art? I think he said he was trying to, right?
I think it does.
Yeah, it's I think it's the alternate poster art.
Oh, that's fucking killer.
Oh, I love this artwork. Yeah, that is nice. I'm going to switch it out right now.
So yeah, the standard artwork is just the poster art.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's much better for some reason. I don't know why, but it just is.
Yeah, look at that. That's sick.
Yeah, I like all the artworks though. Really, I mean,
and there's a lot of shit in here. Hold on,
the original is still the best to me. I don't know why. Look here though.
We got a Blu-ray, we got the 4K, we got the soundtrack, and then we've got this is a Synapse catalog.
Synapse catalog. They had to throw.
Then you get the art cards.
Art carnies.
Yeah, and these are the cool thing about these two is these are double-sided. So you've got the Ragman versions on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was called. The movie was called in the UK, I think.
Wait a minute. I have like doubles. Hold on. Oh, wait a minute. I got 2 sets, or is that? Yeah. Did you guys get? I got 2 sets of cards. Look.
No, you fucking.
You got double, man.
How the fuck did that happen?
I don't know. That's weird.
They're overworking the Asian people.
You need to just go ahead and put them up on there and sell them.
eBay.
Yeah, put it on eBay, $30 or something. See if somebody buys.
Somebody will, I guarantee it.
Give me those cards.
Yeah, I mean they're pretty nice. Oh god,
wow!
That looks like
2 cards. Thanks, Slip.
It looks like a Japanese. I guess it's just a variety of different countries' artwork.
Rock and roll.
This was the VHS artwork. I remember that.
Something
oh yeah.
And the UK quad poster. It's a good one.
So he's got all the stuff in there. The only thing missing is the DVD artwork, right?
Yep. He's not showing any love for the DVD artwork. And then the alternate side is like, I think that it's just recreations of the original lobby cards. Looks like.
Do you know what I will give him props to for? And not all companies do this. Some do, some don't. You take that J card off, look, it slides right in. Sometimes they're too big and they don't fit inside the box.
Oh, yeah.
So you can take that J card off and it slides right in here. So that's really cool because
you got to slide it in now.
Slide it in. Baby. Slide it.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see what Slippy's got up his sleeve. What is he going to slip in our collections next?
He's going to slip it in.
Slip it in.
Yeah. So,
what did you think about the CD, by the way? We didn't mention that, but I thought that was pretty killer.
That is definitely a good
soundtrack.
The CD soundtrack's amazing, so that was a good touch for sure.
I actually still own the old school CD soundtrack as well, which that's a great soundtrack, man.
Mm-hmm.
Fastway's that's a masterpiece, really. It's one of the best soundtracks, I think, as far as that type of music, for sure.
I'm excited, man, to dive into this thing for sure. I think this could very well be my release of the year. I've been waiting for this for a very long time, and I've never seen the quality of this movie outside of this. So I'm sure it's almost going to feel like a whole new experience.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah, I mean, because like it's such a bad transfer on the DVD and all that shit that like it probably is going to make you like the movie more just by the fact of how good this will be remastered. And I heard the audio track's amazing if you have any kind of like audio system or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like the 5.1 on it's supposed to be just killer with the soundtrack and everything.
Nice.
Yeah, no, I'm excited, man. And again, it's been a long time coming, very long time for us collectors, not even for when Slippy announced it, but I'm talking about everybody that's wanted this on a nice edition like this 20 years, people have been talking about this. Yeah. So it's just awesome to see that it's here, and I can't wait to dig into this thing. And I'm hearing great things from people who are messaging me saying that it looks great, sounds great. I'm glad ours came in all one piece. I did hear a couple people say that theirs came a little banged up.
I'd beat the shit out. I would, man, I'd go off on somebody if one of these was damaged. Going for like $300 and some on eBay or something.
Which somebody, I think Pizzell said that somebody stole one out of his mailbox.
Oh yeah,
Uncle Bill.
It's the one that UB's got, I think. It wasn't a cover A or C by any chance, Piz, was it?
It's probably
you hold up
same
to
dude
you like
that stole my vinegar syndrome shit. He probably
He's
found
in
him.
Kentucky, so it's possible.
show him both yours. Let's do it. You explain yourself down there, Mr. Bought 2. Let's talk about this.
Well, it's really easy to explain myself. I'm gonna sell one of these things. Like, the truth be known, I never ever do that. I mean, you could ask CK too. He's usually the one that does that shit way more than I do.
I've actually never seen you do that before.
I don't do it. I just don't give a shit about doing that. And I don't have the patience to sit around and wait on something to go up in price and shit like that either. So normally what I do is I just buy one, but for some reason I knew that this was going to be insane. So I bought A and C, and my goal is to finance one of them by selling the other one. So I'm going to sell whichever one is more expensive on eBay right now.
Bootlegger.
Yes. So I've got this one, and then we just talked about this one. So yeah, more than likely, this one's going to go, and one of them's going to go. I don't know.
So are you gonna put like new was handled by Uncle Bill from?
Yeah, then I'll be like, you can go check the video.
The one that was.
Yeah, so because you handled it, that actually will bring the value a little bit higher, right? Even though it's open.
Here's what I wonder, man. Okay, what about this? What if I send this J card to Slippy and just get him to sign it? I wonder, will it go up in value?
He wouldn't sign it anyway. He'd probably throw it away.
Get this out here. I haven't watched this movie in over, when did he start this? 2-3 years ago? At this point?
April of 2023.
When did he announce this?
When did he
April 2023.
Okay, so I purposely avoided watching this movie at all in any format because I knew this was coming out, but I thought it was coming out much sooner. So I haven't watched it on Halloween or anything like that on anything because I wanted to see this version. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that and seeing what he did.
100%.
We're going to watch Trick or Treat on Thanksgiving. I think it's what we're
going to do. Yeah. Unfortunately, we're going to watch Blood Rage and Trick or Treat.
Yeah, man. But this is awesome. I'm glad we were able to do it this way because, like I said, we got ours a little bit late. But to be able to kind of tell the story, put the pieces together of everything we knew, and just kind of do a little rundown on the release of this epic 4K right here. It's cool, man. I'm so happy to have it. And like I said, I'm really looking forward to see what he does next and what's to come, because if people can find lost movies, it seems like he's one of the guys. So
I'm definitely excited to see what he's got up his sleeves for the next few releases. I think that he's got a lot of stuff scheduled or he's working on right now. So time will tell. But I'm excited for him, man. He definitely knocked it out of the park with this release here. All right, guys, we appreciate you tuning in for this video. Finally, we got Trick or Treat in 4K. Slippy, it took you long enough, you son of a bitch. But Garrett, man, we appreciate you joining us on here. What do you got coming up on the Born to Be Rad channel?
You can go check me out on Born to Be Rad. I've been doing a lot of list videos lately, which seem like people really like me doing those. So I've been continuing with them. I just did a huge list about, Thanksgiving and Halloween horror movies, the classics, some underrated gems, some hidden gems that maybe you could add to your watch list in November and December. So if you're looking for a massive load of those kind of movies, some holiday horror movies, go check that out. And I know we are also going to be working on some stuff together in the upcoming weeks. So definitely check that out as well.
Yeah, definitely talking Blair Witch Project, 25 years of the witch, if you will. And yeah, we got the big Vinegar Syndrome sale coming up on Thanksgiving night, so that's going to be huge as well. But always fun getting everybody together and everything, and definitely stay tuned to borntoberad.com and of course DEADPIT.com. I'd like to tell people, thumbs up the video, Uncle Bill.
Would you?
Yes. Thumbs it up with violence and fury and just love everything about it.
You hit the heart button, then you hit the ass button, then you hit the go fuck yourself button. Follow that up with the I don't give a shit button.
There's all kinds of wonderful shirts over at shop.deadpit.com. Simply the best horror shirts. On TeePublic, there are others, but they all suck. You can get some Dead Pit Radio shirts. You can get Last South on the Left. The Hills Have Eyes. Texas Chainsaw. Oh, wait, you can't say Texas Chainsaw. All kinds of shirts, folks. You're gonna love them. Shop.deadpit.com.
Special thanks goes out to our supporters on Patreon. Do you know what kind of stuff you can get on Patreon, Uncle Bill, starting at only $1 a month?
What's that?
Access to every Dead Pit show since 2005. We got almost 200 fan commentaries that we've done over the decades.
We have a literal jukebox full of songs and thousands of reviews. I don't even know how many shows are up on there now that we've done over the years.
Hundreds of thousands.
You need to figure this out now and subscribe to us on Patreon and YouTube and Instagram and help us to 1 million. The road to 1 million subscribers starts today.
So deadpitonpatreon.com. Join today. Tiers start at only $1, but I'd recommend at least the $10 tier.
You can do 50. The stock market's crashing around us, folks, but send us money.